Good morning, everyone. Let me see. Let me see here my headphones. Great. So, hello, everyone. First of all, let me see, because I was opening the email. And I would like to see if there are messages related to REVIT, first of all, so that I can answer directly in this live stream. So first of all, do you have questions, issues, problems? Let me see my messages here. So just one question. For example, I have created a piece of furniture but can't add materials. Okay, this is simple. Let's see another one. Okay, just one. This is one question that is from one of your classmates. Okay. One question. How can we make a 3D rendered floor plan? I don't know. Don't do it. So let's see one by one. First of all, if you make your own, someone asked it, if you make your own component, material, if it's not listed in a parameter, is because you must create that as parameter. What it means? It means that I make my own table and then I select 3D object. I go into material and finishes, and I have to do this, instead of changing the material from here, I have to go to family types, where I see parameters. I can make a new parameter. I have to give it the name that I want, but that must be, instead of type of parameter, must be material. Then I click OK. So I have this new material as a parameter, and if I want to be sure that that material, let's say, changes legs of my table, I will click this button next to material, and I will link that specific property of my object to my new parameter. When I will save, and when I make a project, yes, save it, and I use that, there is furniture, my table. Then if I go to edit the types, I will find that weird material that I can change in order to change the material for legs. Okay? So this was a question from the email. Then one question: how can we make a 3D rendered floor plan? Okay, we'll see this. Someone else says, what exactly you as PDF? Yes, PDF. It has to be PDF, but today we will see how to correctly make layouts in REVIT. Also, do we have to do anything other than 2 sections? First of all, who said there must be 2 sections? There can be even 100 sections. Front facade. Why front facade? If you make a building, the building has 4 elevations, so there are 4 facades. Render, plans, interior renders, you have to make them all, but not 2 sections. Why 2? You need to make as many sections as they are needed, as many elevations as they are needed. No. The lazier you are, the lower will be the score in REVIT. Take care. And let me open this project, just because it is already there. Wait. No, that is fine. Okay. No, there is not a list of what to complete, because I gave you a project that is that can be imagined in completely different ways. What it means, I gave you a project that is very open, and it offers multiple solutions. That means the same project can be managed, by having, imagine, look, let me open a whiteboard for a second. What is here? Whiteboard. So, new one. That's okay. What I mean is this. You have this area. You can build with certain limits inside this area. So you have a final overall surface to respect. but not anything else. So one sec, one by one. So what it means is that you can make a building here, you can make another building here, and overall there will be 1,600. Then you can say, for example, the entrances of these buildings are from here, from there. This is a ramp, and underneath there will be a common parking area, for example. Why not? And if you make this project, then how can I tell you that you have to make 1 or 2 elevations? You have to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elevations. You have to make section for these, section for that, section for these, section for that. But as well as these, let me tell you, you can... Oh, deleted too much. Someone can say, you know what? I will make a project that is like this. I will make 16. I don't know if they are 16, but they are not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, let's say 8. I will make 8 small houses because overall I need to make 1,600 square meters. I make 8 small houses. Each one will have 200 square meters, so it would be like an apartment on the ground floor, an apartment on the upper floor, or even more interesting, it would be made on what in French is called pilotis. So it would be like an open space underneath, and that would be for parking. Then there would be one stairs connecting these 2 levels. So now how many sections, how many elevations you have to do? I don't know. You have to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 overall, 3D view, side view. So because the project is so open, I can tell you a checklist, make this one. Because for some projects it could be too much. For some projects it could be maybe that you need more drawings to display the project. So, because you are old enough, you need to follow just one rule, that is, you need to include as many drawings are needed to understand the project. So when you look at your presentation, you need to imagine that you are the client itself. So if you make a building and you make just this view, then if you are the client will ask you, yes, but how the object looks like in these 2 other sides? So if you haven't included enough drawings to have no doubts, no possibility to make questions, that is what you have to accomplish. That is the right number of drawings that you need to place. Same for section, same for elevation, same for 3D view. You need to leave no hidden spots. Okay? As well as you don't need to add 2 or 3 times same informations, because that becomes boring and it becomes distracting. Okay? Is it clear? Perfect. How do we find components for the bathroom? I mean, did you check on the website called REVIT City? You just need a free registration, but then you should be able to download a lot of sanitary blocks from there. It's called revitcity.com. There's another one. There's another one that I forgot the name. It should be called like Synchronia. Let me see if I can find it before suggesting it. But like Synchronia. Let me see. Exactly. Ooh, that is nice. So try also this website. Again, it requires you to be registered, but it is for free. So try this additional website that I'm pasting it into the chat. It's called synchronia.com. That sounds like it has a lot of interesting, nice looking blocks. Okay? Then let's keep reading questions. How to make 3D rendered of the floor plan. 3D rendered floor plan is something that you can't do by remaining into level 1. So what it means is that you can't go on level 1 and make it ray traced. You can stop if you keep level 1. You can remain into the shaded mode, while if you open the 3D view can be rendered. So the question is how to make a 3D view looking like a floor plan. And what you can do is something that I think I have already explained. That is, into your 3D view, into properties of your 3D view, there is a property that is called, if you explore it, it is called, what is, I've lost it. Where is 3D view? Here. It is called section box. And if you check section box and you go in your 3D view, you will see this empty box appearing. What this box does is that you can select now this section box, and as you may think, face by face, it has these beautiful blue sliders. So what you can do is you can make this top face going down, and by doing this you're not making a floor plan, you're cutting a 3D view, okay? But the 3D view can be rendered. So once that you enable your section box, you can also simply choose that you want to look at your 3D view from the top by clicking here. So now this looks like a floor plan, while in reality is a 3D view cut from the top and seen from the top. So technically it is very similar to a floor plan, but I am inside a 3D view so that I can go to view and I can render it. Okay? And this is by answering the question that Yash asked, that is, how can we make a 3D rendered floor plan like this? And it is not limited to floor plan, because when you have a section box, just by dragging these faces of the box, you can have whatever cut part of your project. So you can make sections, you can make weird sections like these, like small details. You know, if you have a very nice looking spiral stair in the center of your building, you can display it in this way. Okay, is it clear? Then let's keep reading questions. So Katya asks PDF. Yes, PDF. Perfect. Then we have Sudarshan. Yes, how many? Okay. How do we find components? Answered. Perfect. I think I'm missing some messages. Emma. First of all, Emma, I answered to your email at the beginning of this video, because you asked me by mail why you couldn't find material parameters in your object, and I have answered to your email video. So the thing is, how can you do a 3D view of only the ground floor of this house? It's basically like this, no? It is basically by making a 3D view, but you use the section box till your ground floor. Okay? Like that. I mean, this would be nice. Is this the effect that you want to obtain when you ask how to make a 3D view of the ground floor only? Let me know. Perfect. Very good. So now we need to discover, basically, first of all, just to remember, because I'm not that sure, but have I ever explained how to make sheets in REVIT or not? Let me know. Okay. I mean, let's say from the amount of no answers, I can try to believe you. So, basically, what is in REVIT making sheets? That is very simple. You know, in AutoCAD, you have two different places where you can work. You have the model space, you have paper space. And in AutoCAD, there are things that are called layouts. Have you ever used layout in AutoCAD or not, first of all? Let me see. So the question is, in AutoCAD, you know what is a layout? Perfect. And why this? Simply because sheets in REVIT is exactly same concept of making layouts in AutoCAD. They are just called in a slightly different way. And sheets is basically what is called the paper space. While whenever you are in these views, so views instead is basically working into the model space. So When you want to make a very nice looking project where you have, let's say, a drawing that has, you know, like the title block, and it has the your name, your logo, but also it has, let's say, the floor plan into the scale 1 to 100, or the section, or 2 floor plans with 2 different scales, and so on and so on. What you have to do is you have to make new sheets in Revit. So the thing is very simple, and it starts by going into the project browser where you find sheets here, and what you have to do is you have to right click, and you need to start making your new, let's call it layout, but in reality it's called a new sheet, and you have to click new. And in here, this is the first thing you have to do, is you need to start selecting from the beginning the fact that your new page can have a title block or not. Right now I have just 2 available options, and you can see that right now I can choose only between having no title block, and that will be a disaster, as well as I can choose instead A1 metric, and maybe I want more options. So if I don't find from the beginning the title block that I need, and a title block in Revit is basically a drawing that has all your informations plus the size of the page that you want. So if I don't find it here, I simply need to click load. I go into my library, I will discover that there is already a folder called title blocks, and I can choose between these few simple presets that Revit gives me by default when you install it. There are A0, A1, A2, A3, A4 vertical also. Okay, so for example I would choose which one? A2. I click open and I load. So I start my new page by making a new sheet that is in A2 format, and I click OK, and this is what I have. This is this entire thing in this white infinite space, and this is my title block. And what I see is I have that this outer rectangle is in reality dimension of the paper. So this is my A2, are limits of the paper. Inside these I have this additional rectangle called, in general it's called the safe frame, but this is printable area instead. Okay, and inside this is where I will later on place my views of my 3D of my project. Before moving on, I want to show you instead what is and how you can customize the title block itself, because first of all, you can see that when you use Revit title blocks, you have these fixed kind of structure of where things are placed. So like your name, the project, the number of the drawing, then you have all these consultant things, and maybe you are working alone, and so on and so on. Also, there is the Autodesk logo, but you are not from Autodesk. And what you need to understand is simply that the title block itself is a 2D object. So if you don't like at the beginning how it looks because it contains information that you don't want to use, or maybe simply because, look, instead of using this part of the paper space, you want to place all of your informations down here so that you have this kind of subdivision in your final drawing. You need you need to know that you are 100% free to customize this title block, or even to create your own title block. So easier way to do it is you start by using an existing title block, but then you select title block itself and you go to the modify and you start by edit this family that is the title block. And the title block is, when you open the title block itself, you will simply discover that this is just a 2D file that contains mainly 4 kind of different objects. And these 4 objects can be text. There can be something called label, and we will see in a second what it is. There can be shapes in general, so lines, rectangles, circles, 2D shapes. And you can also add images, like the logo. Okay? So, what is text? For example, text is something that is written in your title block, but that can't be dynamically edited. And we will see later what it means. Label instead is a text field that can be changed, like this one. Then we have 2D shapes. There are all these lines here, all these lines there, this line, these. They are all lines, rectangles, and so on and so on. And you can have images. And for example, right now, the Autodesk logo is just a picture that has been inserted inside this title block. So what you can do is, first of all, you can start selecting things that you don't need, like this one. This is a text, so you can simply, if you need, you can change the text, or if you don't need, you can simply select this written field and you can just delete it. This is a table, like an Excel table. Do you need it? Yes, you leave it. You need it? No, boom, gone. This instead is a label. What it means is that it shows you a title, but when you are into the project, this field can be dynamically changed, and layout by layout, you can have into the same place small differences, and main one will be this, that is the number of the drawing. The number of the drawing is a label, so that you can adjust the number by having all different tables with the number that will change. It will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so on. This instead is a text. So if I change a text, the text will change to all my layouts. So you can just click inside and you can change the text. This instead, this is a label, so you can change project number if you have a number. If not, you delete it. So you start by, for example, this is another label that is pretty useful, that is the date of the year, so that you know exactly when this is done. But this is not January 2020, this is the title of the label, because when I go back to my project, I can see that the date instead is always updated to the current day. And what you can do is, you can, for example, this is a picture. This is a raster image. So you can move it, scale it, delete it. You can, for example, let's see, I want to use my own logo. So the only thing that I will do is I will, let's say, save a picture to my desktop. And if I want, instead of AutoCAD, I can go inside the layout. I can go to Insert, I can go to Image, I will go to my desktop, and I will use this. This is not mine, I mean, I've just downloaded from Google. Perfect. And you can place it here. And remember, it's not that, I mean, all objects in Revit are always the same. So if you want, you can start aligning things together, and then this with this, and then this with that, or no, this with this was more beautiful. Okay, and then you can stretch it. Perfect. And you add your own. You can change this. This is a text. In here you can simply change your own website, your own text, so you can delete it, and you can add your own reference, your own comments, and so on and so on. Or you can move it. For example, in Italy, I don't know in other countries, in Italy, architects have the stamp that is a circle. It is round. Okay? I have not with me, but let me see if I can show you a picture. Exactly. That is just a very simple information. But look, if you are an architect or an engineer, when you put the stamp on a drawing that you are approving, your stamp will look exactly like this. This is original. For example, this is 100% fake. But this is how an original kind of architecture stamp should look like in Italy. It is round, it has a very specific diameter. Okay, so in Italy it is pretty common to find that you can create a text, and you can, for example, add a text like stamp for approval. Okay, and then if you want, you can edit the type, can make it bigger. Okay, first of all, why not? Okay, you can edit this type, can make it bigger, maybe 4 millimeters, and then line weight 2. Let's see what happens. Italic. Perfect. So it will be a little bit chunky, will be italic. But for example, in my layout, I can create also 2D shapes. So I click line and I can create a circle with the radius or the diameter that I want into the units that I'm using. So if I go to units, this is millimeters, and I can have my circle with the exact radius that I need, so that when I will go to boom, put the stamp, this will be already there. It will be the place where the stamp goes. Okay? As well as you can change all of these lines, you can add the watermarks, you can change these as you please. You can move all these things here and there, you can customize it as you want. But the only thing that I want to show you will be this. What's the difference between a text and the label? Because when I load and close, I will save it. I will click no, so that I will make a new one, and I will call it custom. Save. Perfect. So now, see this. I will use my custom layout and I will delete the previous one. So what is the difference between text and label? The text, like this one, stamp for approval, is something that even if I make one left click, I can change it. It is black. A label instead, like honor, is a text field that I can change and layout by layout. So I can make, I can write Marco here. I can change the project name to whatever. Okay, the project number, and I can see also that this is the number, and let's say I will call it 001. When I will go to sheets and I will repeat this process because I want to make another table, and I right click again and I make a new sheet, and I will use again my A2 metric, I will see that look how beautiful it is. My fields are the text is changed, and I can change it here. Directly from the project, and this will affect all fields that have an attribute that is called the same. But if I have fields instead that are free, I can see that here the page is number 1, and here page is automatically adjusted to be number 2. I can change checked by, for example, and I can change this to a friend of mine. I go to this one, and this maybe has not been checked by a friend of mine, but this drawing maybe has been checked by someone else. So labels are fields that you can edit, while text is something that is always fixed into your layout. And if you want to change, you have to re-customize your layout. Okay? Till here? because now the complex part is about to arrive, because till here this was nothing. Of course, yes, your final presentation must be exactly something made like this. You have to make printed layouts so that all of your presentations in PDF will have the all same edges, written things, so it would be like a professional project is presented. Okay? Okay, yes, okay, no. Okay, for sure. So, let's see now the perfect. So, let's see now how to add in our sheets, how to add views of our project. So this is the fun part that also contains a few elements that can result a little bit tricky. What it means, should the rendered images. What it means? No, you make your presentation, and inside your sheets you will go to insert, you will go to image, and if you have made a render outside Revit, let's say this one, you will place your image into your layout. No. The presentation must be something fixed, that is, all of your PDF pages must have this layout. It has to be made entirely in Revit. You are only free, if you have nothing better to do, to render your projects in 3ds Max if you want, or you can just render them in Revit. For me it is the same, but if you render it in 3ds Max, you have to bring rendered picture from 3ds Max inside Revit from here. Okay? Perfect. But see this other unbelievable thing that you can do with sheets that is phenomenal. Now that I have at least created one, but I have 2 sheets in my file, I can, like I do for views, I can open the folder that is called Sheets, and with double click I switch from sheet number 1 to sheet number 2. Okay? How can I display the top view, for example, and this would be awesome, I mean, the top view of my project inside my sheets? That's very interesting, and it works like this. Exactly, but I mean, let's say that I was super fast in reading messages, even if now the message has been removed. I will trim this part from anyway, let's see this. Let's try to remain serious, because it's pretty tough. Look, what I have to do is this. I have to right click on the name of my working layout, and I need to right click here, and I have to use the option called Add View. when I make these, I can basically add inside my layout whatever view that I have in my project. So because in my project I only have one 3D view, I have 4 elevations, I have 2 floor plans, 1 side view and 2 ceiling plans, this is why the menu is showing me only these options. For example, I will select that I want to add floor plan level 1, I click add view to sheet, and I will place it. And you can see something that is pretty interesting. That is, first of all, the view shows me limits of my actual level 1. So it shows me the as cropped area. It is showing me everything that I have in my floor level 1 view. Okay, not only you can see that automatically came as shaded. Why? Because if I go to level 1, I can see that level 1 is set as, it's not shaded even, is realistic. So I will change this to hidden line. I go back to my layout and boom, my view reflects everything that I do into the real building. Okay, but what I can do is, in my view, when I add the view, I can also select it and I can one by one. Wait, first of all, what I can do is this. I select the view that I have imported, and into properties of this view, first parameter is the scale. So right now this is in scale 1 to 100, and it will be printed in 1 to 100. If I want a different scale, I can change it to, let's say, 1 to 50, and this will become bigger. Okay, so first parameter that I have in my view when I place it into the sheets is that I can change the scale view by view. So I can add a view of the second floor or a section, and I can make the section 1 to 20 while the floor plan is 1 to 50, while the elevation is 1 to 100, and so on and so on. And this is first. Second, I can change, sorry, I hit the microphone very hard. Second, I can change the quality. Let's say I can make it half tone to make it grayish if I just want it if you want, you can have this half tone, but I'll make it normal. Wait, we can have the look of 120 in the size. No, this is, wait, because then we have the details level. What it means is that when you make a very small scale, then you have to increase the detail. So you have to go from coarse to fine detail, so that you will start having the look of all detailed elements in your floor plan. Okay? Then you can rotate, as your classmate says. Rotation is a parameter, so you can rotate, unfortunately, just 90 degrees. Okay? There are not that many other options. You can, like, as you can see, if I select the viewport, you can move, but rotate is locked. You can only rotate the entire viewport 90 degrees, clockwise or anti-clockwise or none. Then the orientation, that's fine. Hidden lines is fine. I just want to show you a couple of yes. Then let me go here. Then you can then also crop the view if you want, okay, or crop the region, or annotation crop. And you can see that what happens is that when you at least click crop the view and you select the view, you need to click up here where you see size crop. But this is a little bit tough because by working this way, you have to make something pretty bad. That is, you should change the size of your cropped view by knowing millimeters. So let's say I will make it like, I'm guessing, okay, let's say 650 by 650. And there is only a small problem, that is, working this way would be a little bit tough and not that immediate in terms of using crop. So the way that I suggest instead is this. Look, you can make this, and now the thing becomes really interesting, even if it becomes a little bit tricky, because instead of cropping the view on the sheets, what I can do is I can select, by using double click, I can immediately select my original view and I can crop the view directly here. Okay, I should crop it like this. And if I select all these cropping options into the view and not into the sheets, I have a visual control of what I can crop. Okay? Okay? But see this. Where is my problem? My problem is that if I crop my view directly on level 1, it happens this. Look. Let's say I have 2 buildings. Yes. So if I crop these level 1 by clicking these 3 elements and by having these, I will see that I will crop the entire view that is my level 1. So I will hide also this house here. Okay? Ready for this? Because this will probably shock you. So be so nice to be comfortably seated in your chair right now, because the thing that I'm going to show you will probably change your life forever. That is, in REVIT, you have views. There are basically viewports open on the model that you are creating. But you can duplicate your viewports, and viewport by viewport you can set different options for all of them. What it means? It means this. I want to have level 1 that shows me both floors. But I want to have also level 1 that shows me one house only. So I will select level 1 from my views. I right click on it and I choose duplicate the view. Just duplicate, don't use any other option, just duplicate. In this one I have level 1 copy 1 that I can also rename by right click and using rename, and I will show you level 1 cropped. Okay, then I crop this view only. So now I have 2 views. One is level 1 cropped, one is level 1 without the crop. I can even show everything. Okay, so I can uncheck all these options and I will see the space without any limit. But I have level 1 cropped. Oops, then I have to keep, instead in here I have to keep my cropping. Not only, I can also have this. Look, for example, in my level 1 I can have all my furniture. Now imagine that this is just a house full of desks here and there. Also, because I work on the model, it doesn't matter which view I use, but if I make something in one view, it is visible to all other views. But what I can do is, look, I select my level 1 cropped, I right click and I duplicate it again. This time I will call this view by right clicking and choosing rename. I will go to rotation in 1 second, but I will have another duplicate of my cropped view, then I will call it no furniture. And in this view only, I select furniture, I right click and I use hide, and you can now understand better why hide is called hide in view, because if I hide elements, in view, and I hide the entire category in view, it happens that in this view that is cropped I have no furniture, while in this view that is cropped as well I have visible furniture, while I have another view that is the entire floor plan and also it has visible furnitures. So the more views I create, then look, I go back to my drawing and I delete this one. So instead of using just level 1, there is a generic view that shows me everything that I have in my project, I can now right click, add view, and because I have duplicated those views and I gave those precise names, if you remember, called cropped and cropped no furniture, you will find them listed here. So I can add now my cropped view, and these will be perfectly cropped to that beautiful area. And it clearly shows me furniture. and I select it, and this is in scale 1 to 50. Or I can right click, add view. I can have level 1 cropped, no furniture, add view. I will place it here. And maybe this is a view that I can change. I can change the display model. Like coarse. Then I can, as I said before, rotate. Here is the parameter that is rotation. But for example, I can make it 1 to 100 if I want it smaller. Okay. Then I can also move a little bit the title, as well as I can select the view and I can drag the title line. Okay, and basically by making as many views that I want, I can enhance the amount of informations that I will place inside my printable layouts. And what is great is that this is something that you can do back and forth, so I can now make my sections, for example. So I will go here and I will start making sections. I don't know why I've made this horrible angled section, but now it's there. I can make these other section. Want to look on the other side. I can make this section. Can make this section. And I want to look on the other side, and so on and so. So I have billions of sections, and again, now I have a new folder that is called section. If I want, even here, I can just rename my sections, because when I double click, it's pretty tough to remember what this section is about. Okay, but I can even stretch it. Okay. And I can change the depth. For example, in my section, I don't like to show levels, so I select these, I hide elements, the entire category in this view, so that my section 1 won't show levels into the section itself. But section 1 should be this weird section here, so it has to be longer. Okay, so what I will do is instead of section 1, I will right click, I will rename it, and I will call the weird angled section. Okay, when I go to my drawing, in here or in the other one, is always the same. I can right click, I can click add the view, and now that I have more views, the menu that appears is also increasing possibilities. The only thing that you have to know is that in the same exact sheet, you can place your view just once. So if you want, for example, floor plan in 1 to 50 and floor plan in 1 to 100, you have to manually repeat steps that I've done now. So you have really to create 2 different views, and then you will be able to import twice a floor plan. Because let's say and I will show you, if I add this view to the sheets, that is the weird angled section, and I place it here. If I try to do this again, so I right click, I click add to view, then it looks like a mistake while it is not, but then you will see that the view called weird anglet section for this sheets is not more available, is not listed here at all, while I could place it on another drawing that is not even, sorry, no, not even. That's even better. So if I want to use the same view twice, I really need to duplicate the view as many times that I need to use it. Okay? I can add elevations, I can add sections, and also I can add 3D views. And here the thing becomes phenomenal, because when you click 3D view, by default you have one 3D view, and each time that you want to change the angle, you have to open the 3D view, change the angle, and you're good to go. So see what happens here. Look, let's say in this viewport here, I move the section a little bit below, and I right click, I use add view, I use 3D view, I place it here, perfect, very tiny but lovely, select it, 1 to 50 maybe is too big, okay? I would like to have something in between, but also this is a 3D view, so who cares if it is in a precise scale or not? I just wanted something that is not as small as 1 to 50, not as big as 1 to 50, sorry, not as small as 1 to 100, not as big as 1 to 50. So if I want just a custom scaled viewport, in between all these available numbers, I use custom, and I type custom here, and I type the value that I want. Let's try 1 to 70, exactly, so that final dimension of this view will be not as big, not as small. And also it happens this, if I see, this is exactly how my lone 3D view is looking right now. So if in here, look, I make these, when I will open my drawing, I will see that adjustment applied into the drawing as well. And most of the time this is something extremely positive, so knowing that the layout is always depending from the model, let me tell you something that is a lifesaver, because whenever you adjust something in your model, let's say you change one door and you have already made 20 drawings with 40 views here and there, you just change something into the door and immediately all of your sheets are automatically updated and they are following adjustments that you are changing into the model of your building. Okay? But sometimes, for example, for 3D views, this can look like a limit, while it is not, because the only thing that you have to do, even with 3D views, if you want several angles, so if you want to make, let's say, another, so I make a new sheet and I make it just full of different 3D views, The only thing that I have to do is, exactly like levels, exactly like sections or elevations or whatever else, you can select your 3D view, you can right click on it, and you can duplicate it. And you can keep duplicating your 3D view as many times that you want, and for each individual 3D view you can set how you want the 3D view to look like. So I can make this angle cropped, I can make, double click, this angle cropped, I can double click on it, and maybe I want to hide section box, and maybe I want right click on the view cube. I want this as a perspective, like this. Okay. And maybe instead of colors, I wanted with hidden lines, like so. I want this one with ray trace. No. Sorry. I can't use ray trace. I mean, I have almost created a tragedy because I can use ray trace while I'm also live streaming, because both process will use the GPU of my laptop, so it would be a disaster. The live stream will start lagging and probably the connection will drop. So, but you can do it by yourself. For example, in here I want it realistic, please. Perfect. And maybe I want to change section box on my next level. So I have 4 3D views, and again I like it not realistic, hidden lines. And I like it like this. I can also, when I want to, I can keep adding, I can also add cameras. We have seen cameras, but cameras are just other views, so why not? Let's also put, by going to view, opening the 3D view, I want to put a camera in here that it would be larger. It's a very nice camera, but why is not showing me anything? Ah, because it is behind the door. What a basic mistake. Okay, I can see that this is very narrow, so I will enlarge field of view of my camera. I will make it vertical. Very nice. Okay, so now I will simply rename these. I will call it camera. I will call this view, rename top cut. I will rename this one perspective, and I will leave these 3D copy 2, 3D copy 3. Perfect, but I have duplicated my 3D view 4 times, plus I added another 3D view that is a camera this time. So I will go to my drawing number 3, I right click on it, I go to add view, and I will find all these 3D views. I can add the camera, let's say, let's make it smaller, And what is the scale here? It's gone. I don't know. What is the scale here for the... Well, that's weird. I will fix it another day. I can right click, add view, 3D view perspective. Yes. Boom. I have this one. Right click, add view, this one. Boom. And I can create, add view, my layout with all my viewports. Let me just see why these... wait. I have to go to the camera and I have to zoom out. Then I go back to my drawing. No. Why is not showing the scale? That's weird. That is really weird. That is very weird. No, this is never happening. Never happened before. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what this is happening. So, let's see. Let's try this. I can go here. I can click activate view. No. No, doesn't like it. Scale. Ah! So I have to click... Wait. So I select it, I click size. Oh, here it is. And I can scale it. And then I will change the size. Let's say 60. This is where it is. Exactly. Or 75. Perfect. And then I will place it here. And I can also select these. Change this or just delete it if I don't want it. Oops. And I have my fantastic small camera. Okay, so the resize is when you click crop and you don't click that you want to crop it, but that you want to scale it, because by being a perspective, it has no fixed scale amount. Okay? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. If this is fine... Whoa! What is written there? I had a question related to material. And why ask me now that I'm explaining something else? So let me finish sheets, then yes. Can we remove the tag? Yes. If you select the view and you click edit the type, you can hide or not the title. So you can make show the title, just no, click apply, boom, they are gone. Okay? It's very simple. And you can, if you need, you can re-add the if you want a better explanation, you can just go in your, by being in your sheet, you can go to architecture. So, and what is here? Let's say, wait a second. Let me close all these things. I need Okay. So, see this. First of all, let me save because I hope my computer is not dying. So let me close it for a second. And then I will open it again, just in case. So the tag, yes, can be removed by clicking edit type, and you show or not the tag underneath. And you can click annotate later on, and if you want, you can add text directly on the paper. So if you write something, let's say this text will remain on the drawing only. So you can change then the type. You can make it like 5 millimeters big, so that would be more readable. And you can also write next to your views whatever title those views should have in order to have this one. If you don't want to see it, you need to hide one of these that I always don't remember which one is crop region visible, I think, exactly. So there is a property that is crop region visible, that is basically a rectangle that shows you where the viewport has been cropped. If you keep it visible, it will be displayed. If you uncheck it and you uncheck the other one, click apply, boom, they will disappear for all viewports in general. So even here you select it and crop region visible, you uncheck it, and this disappears. Okay? Till here? Because technically there is just one last thing that I want to show you, or at least tell you about sheets. Wait, no, I mean, I'm not going. I just want to ask you if these things were clear. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, don't freak out. And the only one, because the only additional thing that I want to tell you about sheets is how to manage renders, because it will be slightly different if you render in Revit or if you render with an external software. That is, now, Katya, take care. You have to hide the rectangle next to the view. Take care. You go to properties and you need to uncheck only the option called crop region visible, not crop view, because if you remove crop view, everything becomes visible again. So the only one that you have to remove is crop region visible, just to hide the rectangle that appears while the view is showed into the paper size. Okay? Take care, because it's slightly different. Okay? So, of course, when you uncheck crop, it shows you everything. Look, here, I select the view. Crop view is still there, because if I uncheck these, it shows me everything. So crop view must be checked if we want just to select a small part of that. Plus, the thing that I showed you is that you have to check or not if you want the rectangle all around it. At the end of the class, could you please repeat what needs to be submitted? Okay, grazie. Wait a second. Okay. Yup. When I check it, perfect. How to export them in PDF? This is going to happen in 1 second. At the end of the class, could you please repeat what needs to be submitted in the PDF? But I repeated at the beginning. I said you have to place as many drawings, as many views that are useful for you to describe the entire project without leaving any spot hidden or foggy into the description of your project. If according to the shape of your project, according to how complex, according to how many things you want to describe that you have made into your projects, you need to add as many drawings that are capable to have the client avoiding the clients saying something like, but what happens here? But what happens there? But how it works here? But how it works there? So you need to be sure that whoever reads the project will understand every single aspect of the project. And because your projects are very open, there is not a minimum or a list of required drawings to create, because it simply depends on how complex or how rich your project is. Is that clear? Let me see. Perfect. So we have almost done with. I mean, just one last tiny thing. I will try to render one view. I don't know if it is going to work or if the streaming will be destroyed. I hope it works. So look, just make a camera here. Very bad. But this is not bad because the camera is terrible, because the project is not that great. I will just add a very big floor for now here. Okay. No, schedules is, no, I won't be able to, at least if we have time, couple of minutes next week, but just for you. But no, schedules, no, it's terrible, takes forever. So the only thing that I wanted to show you will be this. You go to view, you click render, and you render these. Exterior sun only, okay, hoping that the render, let's see if the, no, it's okay. I mean, it's a very draft render. But why I want to show you this? Simply because now that we have our object, our render, I want to show you something very interesting. That is, why you say wow? What it means, wow, or to be precise, wow, because there are a lot of H. What does it mean? I mean, let me show you here. You have your render, and when you render a picture, you have mainly two options. If you render it in if you render in Revit, you can click export the image, and you will simply do like in any other software. You make an external file so that you can save it in JPEG or in bitmap or TIFF. But another thing that you can do is you can use the option called Save to Project, and you can call this Render 1. What's the difference? The difference is basically that instead of having an external file and then you have to link that external file inside your project, and if you rename it, if you delete it, if you move it, you will miss the link between your external file and Revit. By clicking Save to Project, your render will be just inside a new folder in rendering. There will be just another view, and basically that picture will remain inside this project, and you can always double click it to recall it. And as well as recalling these, you can simply quickly selecting one of your page, right click, add view, and now you also have your rendered view that is working like any other view. Okay? Yes, no, maybe. While if you render in 3ds Max, in Keyshot or stuff, horrible other things like that, and you have instead, if you want to put a rendering inside your page, you have to select the page, go to Insert, clicking Insert Image, and you really need to insert the image. For example, I will show you this one, not because it is a rendering, also it has some blurred informations, but just to have 3 seconds of a break. This is to show up and to show you that I have the license to professionally being a drone pilot. I mean, just to show up, I mean, for no other reasons. Okay? So, let's answer to a question, because believe it or not, for sheets and for in order to create drawings, that's it. The only thing that is really complex now is, yes, I'm a professional drone pilot in between all of my 174 hobbies. So, an interesting question that is to complete this is, but now, how can I really save it as PDF? In order to save it as a PDF, you technically need to print it as PDF. And there are simply 2 available options that you can have. Option number 1, you go to File, you go to Print, you go to Print Setup, and you start choosing, first of all, which is the printer that you want to use. And I don't want to print with these, so I go to File, Print, exactly. And from here, I choose the fact that I have my Adobe PDF printer. And why I have it? Simply because I honestly bought the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. So in between those 22,000 softwares that comes with the Creative Cloud, so Photoshop, InDesign, and whatever, I have also the official Adobe PDF printer, where I can click Properties, I can go to Layout, and I can start choosing Advanced, and I can start choosing the paper size. Ooh, I have A0, A1, A2, that is beautiful. Let's say A2, Landscape, okay. And I can print my drawings into a PDF. Not only, I can select two ways to print my drawings. That is, I can print 3 different PDF, and then I have to find another software to combine them, or I can click not to print the current window, but I can click Selected View Sheets, so I will click Combine multiple views into single file, and I select sheets that I want to print. In this way, I will print one PDF that has all my beautiful all my beautiful drawings. So if I'm right, I can click OK. It will take a while. No, I have to restart it. Why? Okay, just an update. Okay, it is printing. It will take a while because there are 3 A2. The only problem is, what happens if you have not your phenomenal PDF printer, like the Adobe PDF? That is not for free. I mean, it comes because I own the Creative Cloud. If you want a free option as a PDF printer that you can use to print whatever size of documents that you want, the only one that I personally recommend is called Bullzip PDF. You can find it here, and I will put the link into the chat if you want to check it. This PDF printer is acting like the Adobe PDF one, so it is a PDF printer. This is taking forever. I don't know why. So the Bullzip printer, you download it, you install it, and it will basically show a new printer in your Windows, and it will simply give you the possibility to print whatever document from whatever software into PDF. Okay? Is that clear? Can you answer my question now, please? I'm not that sure if I want. Can we do it without an external PDF printer? Yes. If you want to do it without any external PDF printer, you can put the model in your viewport. You can put tracing paper on your screen, and if you want, you can retrace the entire layout by hand without using an external PDF printer. Yes. Microsoft to PDF, I think, doesn't go over the A4 format. Okay, this is why you should need a slightly more professional PDF printer, because I think that Microsoft to PDF, I mean, I'm not really updated because I don't use it, but as far as I know, it should be limited to A4. Then Rudra asks, I have a question. There are so many small things in a 3D model. Do we need to show each and every small details? The thing is very simple. The answer to this question is that if you have made them, why making them and then hiding them? That is... Ooh, wait a second. Okay. A3 is possible. Okay. And yes, A3, but not bigger. So for Rudra, I mean, if you make beautiful things with a lot of details, show them. If you don't show them, it's better don't do them. But now let's finally answer to the Abhishek question that I don't know which question is. That is, I had a question related to material. When I was trying to give wooden wall panel the bump, is not happening. Like the grooves material does not cover the wall as one, it looks repetitive. That is very simple. When you want to make wood texture, they must be seamless, first of all. So let's say I select this one. This, no, it's not. This one, okay. So look, I save this picture into my texture folder. Ah, there is already. Perfect. Look, I've already downloaded this picture and textures. Basically, what I have done is this. This is called seamless texture. So when you use this material, it will never show you repetitions. And what I have done is I can't use this as a bump. So what I've done is I've made a copy in Photoshop and I've made a black and white version of same exact picture. So when I go in REVIT and I make my material, and let's say I quickly make a new one, and I go to appearance, what I have to do is this. Into the generic, where I see image, and let's make a preview very big. So I go to image, I go to my texture folder, that is here, should be this one, and this is how my color texture appears in my material. But then I have to go to the name, I have to click the picture itself in order to give right dimensions to this. My texture is not square, is rectangular, so I have to unlock the aspect ratio, and for example it is like larger than taller, so the height will be less, let's say 170, so that it is rectangular and it looks correctly applied. So remember these numbers, 3048, I don't know why, it's okay. Then I go to bump, I check the bump first, and then I use the picture that is the same one but made in black and white, Okay. I use it, but even for these, I have to respect same dimensions that I've used for my previous one. So I uncheck it. I click 170. Then probably I've clicked it here by mistake before. Okay. So, oh no, it's fine. And now look at my beautiful bump and how visible are grooves in my material. I can also change different scenes. Let's say I can see in a wall how this material behaves. And I can see that my wooden fibers are looking precisely continuous without any repetition, but the repetition is mainly given by the fact that the texture is a seamless texture and the bump is a copy of the colored one in black and white. Okay, was it clear? Katya says A3. A bullzip printer is for free. Why don't you want to download it? For free. Anyway, as you please. Any other question that I can solve in 3 seconds? Cause if not, for today, we are done, and now you have just to finish your beautiful final presentation. And next week we will discuss them. So you have to upload them, and by having volunteers or less volunteers, I will open them online and we can discuss about your final projects. I just don't know if I will be able to basically check all of your presentations in 2 hours live streaming. If you want I mean, if I can do these online, I will do my best to be fast and efficient. So be so nice to upload your final presentations just before the beginning of this class, so that I will be able to download them in my computer and I can open them quickly instead of having also to download them during the live stream. Okay? Perfect. Have a nice week. Work hard as you can, and as usually have fun, but not too much. Okay? Bye everyone. It has been a pleasure.